Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
We've got 5 fascinating tech stories lined up for you today, each revealing a high-stakes battle shaping our world. First, we'll explore the Pentagon's stunning move to buy a huge stake in America's only operational rare earth mine. Then, we dive into the surprising environmental cost of AI, as thirsty new data centers spark a battle over local water resources. After that, we'll cover the landmark deal video game actors just won, establishing critical new rules for AI. Then, we'll look at Amazon's secret weapon in the AI arms race, custom-built cooling hardware. And we'll wrap up with the story of an employee from 2 vital chip companies who was just jailed for feeding their secrets to Russia. A company's stock just exploded over 50% on a single piece of news. The buyer wasn't a Wall Street titan, but the US Department of Defense. The company is MP Materials, and it holds a critical asset, the only operational rare earth mine in the entire United States, located at Mountain Pass, California. These aren't just any minerals. Rare earths are, the secret sauce in high-powered magnets essential for F-35 fighter jets, advanced drones, and submarines. The strategic imperative behind this move is stark. The US has been almost completely dependent on foreign imports for these materials, with China supplying a staggering 70%. This has been a massive strategic vulnerability in the escalating trade disputes between the two powers. So now, the Pentagon is injecting $400 million directly into MP Materials. And this isn't a loan. It's a purchase of preferred stock that will make the Defense Department the company's single largest shareholder. With a potential 15% stake, the Pentagon's holding would be nearly double that of institutional giants like BlackRock. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. The deal includes a 10-year guarantee that 100% of the magnets from a new factory will be purchased. The Pentagon is even setting a price floor for a key rare earth compound, promising to pay MP Materials the difference if the market price ever drops below it. MP Materials CEO James Litinsky called it a decisive action to accelerate American supply chain independence. This is more than an investment. It's a seismic shift in industrial strategy, creating a state-backed champion to break a foreign supply chain chokehold. It blurs the line between government and the free market, all in the name of national security. The real question is, how will the rest of the world respond to America's new mine-to-magnet fortress? From the strategic battle over minerals to another fight over a far more fundamental resource, water. It turns out the cloud has a very real and very thirsty footprint. It starts with a woman in rural Georgia who says she can't drink the water from her own well. And the reason, she claims, is a massive windowless data center owned by Meta just a few hundred yards from her front porch. This isn't an isolated incident. It's the front line of a new war erupting across the country, where local activism has already delayed or blocked $64 billion in data center projects. The core of the conflict is water. We think of the cloud as invisible, but keeping its servers cool is a thirsty business. And with the explosion of AI, the numbers are becoming jaw-dropping. One study projects that AI-driven data centers could consume a staggering 1.7 trillion gallons of water globally by 2027. So, what does that actually mean? Well, a single query to a tool like ChatGPT can use the equivalent of a small bottle of water. Multiply that by billions of requests a day, and the scale becomes clear. The situation presents a fascinating duality. On one side, you have tech giants like Amazon Web Services promising that by 2030, they'll put more water back into communities than they take out. But on the other, the reality on the ground tells a very different story. In Georgia, one environmental group testing a creek near a new data center found the water cloudy and brown, with a local volunteer declaring, "It shouldn't be that color." Meanwhile, experts are sounding the alarm. Professor at Emory University, who teaches cloud computing, says these centers are becoming the backbone of modern life, stating bluntly, there's no turning back, but admitting they will create a huge strain in the short term. It's a high-stakes collision between technological progress and environmental preservation. As the demand for AI continues to skyrocket, it all boils down to one critical question. Can we power the digital world of tomorrow without draining the most basic resource of today? The environmental cost of AI is one thing, but what about the human cost? Well, a group of professionals just fought a year-long battle over that very question. For a full year, that was the high-stakes reality for video game actors in a bitter strike against industry giants like Activision and Electronic Arts. But this wasn't just a fight over pay. The conflict came down to one explosive issue: artificial intelligence. Actually, before the strike even began, both sides had already agreed on 24 out of 25 disputed areas. The single sticking point that triggered the walkout was the use of AI to replicate human performances, with some companies allegedly treating motion capture work not as a performance, but as data. The core fear was laid bare by actor Ashley Birch, who said, "We just don't want to be replaced by it." For some, the threat was even more severe. As another actor explained, if you came out to Los Angeles to be a motion capture actor, then your entire existence is being threatened by AI. And now, that year-long battle is over. A landmark deal was just approved by an overwhelming 95% of voting union members. It establishes critical guardrails for the future of entertainment. Under the new contract, companies must get an actor's consent to create a digital replica. They must disclose exactly how it will be used, and they must provide fair compensation. This isn't just a win for video game actors. It's one of the first major labor agreements to draw a clear line in the sand against the unchecked use of corporate AI. The deal struck in the virtual world has set a very real precedent, leaving every creative industry asking the same question: who's next? While new rules are being written for the creative side of AI, the tech giants are locked in a brutal race over the hardware that makes it all possible. This brings us to Amazon's cloud division, which just threw down the gauntlet. An executive delivered a line that puts its competitors on notice. When asked why they couldn't use commercially available cooling for the new wave of AI chips, an Amazon VP said that while those solutions might work for lower volumes at other providers, they simply wouldn't be enough liquid cooling capacity to support our scale. This is the hidden arms race of the AI boom. Nvidia's GPUs are the engines, but they run so hot they're creating an energy crisis inside data centers. The demand is so extreme that Amazon considered building entirely new types of facilities, but it would have taken too long. So instead, Amazon engineers built their own weapon. It's called the in-row heat exchanger, a custom piece of hardware designed to solve a problem no one else could, at least not at Amazon's massive scale. This isn't just about fans and water pipes. It's a strategic move to dominate the next frontier of computing. The hardware in question is Nvidia's new GB200NVL72. It's a single rack packed with an astonishing 72 Blackwell GPUs, all wired together to train colossal AI models. Rivals like Microsoft and CoreWeave are already offering access to these systems. Amazon's custom cooling solution is its answer, a way to deploy this immense power faster and more efficiently. This move is part of a bigger strategy. After all, AWS has already been building its own custom chips and servers to reduce its dependency on third-party suppliers. This is critical because AWS is the profit engine of Amazon, recently delivering its widest operating margin in over a decade. By solving its own infrastructure problems, it tightens its grip on the market and its own bottom line. The AI race isn't just about who has the smartest algorithm. It's a bare-knuckle fight over power, cooling, and pure physical infrastructure. And it begs the question, as AI gets more powerful, will the future belong only to the giants big enough to build their own tools? This entire AI arms race, from the software to the custom cooling, depends on one thing: an incredibly fragile global supply chain for semiconductors. A recent court case just revealed a terrifying vulnerability right at its heart. An employee who worked at both ASML and NXP2 crown jewels of the global semiconductor industry has just been jailed for feeding their secrets to Russia. This isn't just a case of corporate theft. It's a major geopolitical breach. A Dutch court sentenced German Aksionov to 3 years in prison for computer intrusion and illegally providing sensitive technology to a Russian contact, a direct violation of European Union sanctions. What really brought this to a head were the initial, more explosive allegations from prosecutors. They accused Aksionov not just of theft, but of selling stolen design manuals for cash. And the most chilling part, they alleged he had contact with Russia's FSB intelligence service. The reason for the lighter 3-year sentence, instead of the 4 prosecutors demanded, came down to a single detail the court couldn't prove: that Aksionov was actually paid for the secrets he shared. That one point shaved a year off his sentence. While NXP issued a statement on its zero-tolerance policy towards data theft, the verdict exposes a terrifying vulnerability. This wasn't just any tech company. ASML holds a near monopoly on the highly complex machines required to make the world's most advanced computer chips. They are a critical choke point in the entire global tech ecosystem. And NXP is a giant in chips for cars and industrial systems. One man had access to sensitive information from inside both of them. The case is closed with a 3-year sentence, but it leaves behind a multi-trillion-dollar question: how secure are the secrets that power our entire digital world?
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.